Ebushanye mo bibi akwa buying from Pinax TV so ena mene wo kase die ye boyra the camp of the New Patriotic Party na Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia ni team ni mo ena ye boyra na sentem ena ye hu se NPP mpanimfo sanction bi se wo mo eyi nkofo bi e the free party no emu apparently na Professor Frimpong boaten ena mo ye omajuso mo yi no mo yi no ena manfo chem se nipa binum te sa Abronye eda ho atete party ni mu asebe because of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ntino yenye wo mo hwe na de wo mo pe ena wo mo eye na numu ena na me ne wo kase from the camp of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no penifo dia ba betu dwa se Abronye se de amanfo dragging the din de bata Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho no it is high time ayi nyina yebenya ye ho ntiase se Abronye enka Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia etim ne ho enti se de wo no screens no eso no say Abronye is not part of Dr. Bawumia's campaign team. Exp0se Jr. Esquire, aide to Dr. Bawumia. And way every the camp of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Muchirema Abronye and someone walking come. Ene ne YouTube channel akwati a wosi wan anopa wie nwumre na wo to ayampia de mampanimfo a wo NPP amanyoko ni mu ne titire ene honorable Kennedy Japan no ene wo kire mu say at this point ne de Ghana for NPP for delegate mpanimfo nya de nyina ntia asese Abronye na wonam honom ni bibie ni wa kire say wone Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia e wo twaka bia ewo party no emu Abronye de hide ena Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nso ye den edeyi ni day enti se mo kan amanfo a wo mo join ne Bawumia team na ene mo kan hu ne se Abronye enka ho enti ensem bi a wote eye ne YouTube channel no so a wo kan be looking more or less like an attack on Dr. Mahmoud honorable Kennedy Japan no mo kan hu ne se wono no ka na asem obi ansoma ne se won koye campaign Emma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia enti ensem ya wo beka ebetia ken ana any party member na party peni bia no nobody should link it to Bawumia say ena Abronye ti party ni mu ena wo keka de ope ena obi emfi no na Professor Frimpong boaten ko ade wo ka bia pe ena sebe mwaso na no amosi an waka de yenka etimu yine free party nim anyenya bia ensemu Abronye keka okrom hanum sei no eche the Professor Frimpong boaten kana na Abronye ensemu a waka mu dududu sei sebe ebi okra hu ne wo ye asem no mpo no eno kra no yenka se ye yi Abronye e de free party nim ena amafo chem sei samonka asemu yi Abronye de free party nim dia and it is because Bawumia team intino mo pese mo favor Abronye o party ni mo ene Bawumia ni team so pese o mo kire se ensuo ta ponkyere ni a woje wo enough is enough baby amakeka akwa kodro no mo mayema mo nte ase Abronye fenisen Bono regional fenisen chairman wone Dr. Bawumia team no there is no correlation wo mo ntem onka Bawumia team ne ho enti ogina baabi no okoka na asem a monke hunu se wono na eka na asem enye obi na eka de ahya no ana se nye se wo campaign on behalf of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wono na eye de ope enti wonka Bawumia team na ebi no mo che se Bawumia ni team ni mind game samode obi be ka asem na asem no sebe edi begu mu fin kakra bia na say ade a entwa ye kura na say I mean like Abronye all this one we know that Abronye has supported Bawumia enti mu de say ya na mbada na mu ho Judas is carrot ni Judas is cabbage mo yi nkofo amasa na because ebi che say ya ka Bawumia ni team na ya ka mo ho bibi kitwa bia wonka ye ho bibi kitwa bia na sell out na enti amafo chem say we entro pa na free the aid no Bawumia ho no meba said there is no truth in this so betimi agina simpie so aka kire ye say Abronye enka Bawumia team ne ho de yegitumu a enye ye enene kina ye ntumi enye ntumu ema no enye ye nti se de empanifo nsem a omo epese omo kire eno no yen so ani egusu agina NPP amanyokuo no akache a me ne okase na no ada na Professor Frimpong boaten ebeka nsem bi edefa jinesia amanyoko ne esie se chenchina ache won pese wo de Bawumia hye party delegate for kon a eno no enya de pa MY enu nti no professor nam so keka nsem ba ko mienu e de fa party ni ho a yewura Justin Frimpong konua wo ye general secretary de ma NPP amanyoko no etebiri krata tin twere so e ka se wo yi eye Bawumia sorry Justin Frimpong konua wo yi na e de na kwa akoma mpanimfo na wo yi na fi party ni musanse de wo keka ne nye no mene wo ka se director of communications at the United Party miche yera lanche maintain the party no Samuel Wusu waba bonte abechem se he Frimpong konua no sesen ne ho asere papa wono ye kenim difo ne ekuku damfo a wo mo abene a se be ye ntimi ntoto wona se wo party ni mu a Professor Frimpong konua one of them no Justin Frimpong konua nim die be mpa no wo e na die pa no nim ono NPP mra no kra wo mo ededom amanyoko ne bo amanyoko no ban kra wo gidi se wabon wo mti na osi se ginesie no ye be ko tie nsem a director of communication de ma United Party no wo de etudwa.
We are the
so
United Party.
So your formation, you were formed out of the rips,
yes,
of the NPP.
Exactly.
So you know the ins and outs. Now, if you take a look at what is happening, what you used to know as a young NPP politician and member, how would you agree or disagree with Professor Frimpong when he says that the individuals managing the party now, the composition of the party, the fiber, moral fiber of the party, is not reflective of what the original founders of the party and how the party grew up to the time he thought the party had disintegrated or gone away from its own core beliefs?
First of all, let me put it this way, that the General Secretary that issued the statement, Professor Frimpong, has more integrity than him. He knows next to nothing about the party. And that
Justin Frimpong, he's a lawyer.
He doesn't know anything about it. I mean, the very statement he issued must be the reason they must even fire him. Because he doesn't even understand the constitution of the NPP. In the NPP's constitution, you don't just get up and say you are refer somebody to the National Executive Committee. Every disciplinary measure has to go through a disciplinary committee. So his reference should have been with the disciplinary committee rather than the National Executive Committee. You are
according to the constitution of the NPP.
Absolutely.
You should have referred that letter
to the disciplinary committee, so that is where natural justice will take place. Professor Frimpong must be heard. And where is he going to be heard? At the National Executive Committee? No, he goes to the disciplinary committee, he is heard, and the disciplinary committee will make a recommendation to the National Executive Committee. And believe you me, when he has submitted Professor Frimpong to, the National Executive Committee consists of regional, as part of membership, regional executive committees. So what Jesse Godia is saying is that he is going to subject Professor Frimpong to the likes of Abronye to be vetting or seen to the expulsion of Professor Frimpong because Professor Frimpong has said that the party is fake.
But Abronye is rightfully a regional.
But if there is anybody who should be expelled between Professor Frimpong and Abronye, who should go first?
I don't understand.
Between him and Wuntumi, and mind you, Wuntumi will also be part of this committee. Between him and Buga, who should go first?
Is Buga part of the?
He's part of the national. Now we are here this morning being told by Zato that all the vituperations by Professor Frimpong has to do with the vice president, the former vice president.
He hasn't said that.
That is why he brought in the idea of the Muslims and the Northerner, that he's a Muslim, he's a Northerner. That's fine. He will get there. And so the former vice president also sit at neck. So it's more or less cooking Professor Frimpong before his enemies.
He's been cooked?
Absolutely.
Oh.
But you see, how many times haven't I come here and told you that this political party called the NPP is not a new patriotic party. It is the Nana People's Party. And that was what Professor Frimpong was making reference to. I kept telling him.
No,
he argued with me.
Himself.
Oh. He argued with me one time on key point, and I was laughing.
But Nana Dankwa, the former president, when he was president, gave him a position.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you something.
So they are Nana boys.
Today, don't take it easy because we have a long way to go in Jerusalem.
Exactly.
The truth of the matter is that he says parties evolve. Yes, evolves to become better.
Yes.
Parties do not evolve to become worse. What did Frimpong say? He said the party is fake because throughout his life as a member of this party, there has never been a time that you do, what do you call it, flag bearership election top down.
It's not true. It has happened before.
Which
in
year?
the party.
Which year?
It has happened
Which year?
in the NDC.
Which year?
It has happened
which
before
year?
in the NPP.
Which year? No. Which year? Which year? No, which year? Which year? No, which year?
It has happened.
No, which year?
If you are saying
no, you were putting somebody a while ago. You were putting somebody on the Facebook. Give me the date. Give me the date.
It has happened after the 1992 election.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
After the
it has never happened in the history of the NPP.
He says it has happened.
It has never happened.
I'm saying it has happened.
You see, I don't blame you because you see,
you hold a position.
The rise of Zato and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, they had never been part of this party from its inception.
No, please.
They joined along the way.
That's a wrong description.
At the age of 29 years, but I'm telling him in the face. At the age of 29 years, in 1992, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was 29 years. The party NPP was there. That is how come he became a member. So he has no appreciation of the history of the party.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Professor Frimpong, what we are talking about, has contested as a flag bearer of the party on 2 occasions.
And what happened?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
He contested in 2007 and contested in 2010. So nobody can sit here and belittle the intelligence of Professor Frimpong. He mentioned 3 or 4 things. The things that he made reference to, that the party has a lot of people who are corrupt. Is he wrong?
I don't understand.
He said one of the reasons that he thinks that the party is fake is that it has a lot of corrupt people who went into government. Is he wrong? Currently, what are we saying about the former finance minister? Is he not refusing to come back to Ghana because of corruption allegations?
But they are allegations.
Look at what happened at the National Service. Look at the whole. How can Professor Frimpong want to look at this and say this is not a good party? Remember when he was in government, he wrote, what do you call it, a report, and then fingered a lot of NPP members in there who were so corrupt, who were destroying the environment. So the man started saying this today. But how did he say that is different from what the likes of Boache said? Remember on the 27th of September 2023, 2 days after we had left the NPP and joined and formed the Movement for Change, Boache came out and said that they are even lucky Mr. Chemante, Honorable Chemante, has penned down his reasons for leaving the NPP. And that there were so many of the NPP people who had left the NPP in their hearts and were ready to walk away from the party during voting in the election 2024. Wasn't that what happened? The NPP that is there now, their membership will not transcend beyond the 200,000 people who are going to vote on the 31st of December, January 2026. No,
but they are core sympathizers as well as people who vote for them.
The core sympathizers are only 206,000. That's the delegates. Those that are going to receive freebies.
They are members.
No, they are the delegates. They don't have any other member. Who is that member? And that is what Professor Frimpong was referring you to, the virtual members. The virtual members, he is referring to them as virtual members because he knows that the United Party is on the verge of receiving its final certificate. And the moment we receive our final certificate, the virtual members will all come to us and join the party and join the United Party. Remember, what were the reasons ascribed by Adenimo before leaving the race? What Adenimo say? How different is it from what Professor Frimpong said? Adenimo said that the top-down approach was bogus. It was just there to favor one candidate.
The party as fake.
It's fake.
That they are virtual
grouping. How can you have a party? The virtual grouping are the UPP.
But Adenimo didn't say.
No, but Adenimo said that the party.
Even Eugene, is it Eugene Entry or something?
I'm even surprised that Eugene Entry is still with this party. A fine brain. They started speaking their minds during the days that we were speaking our minds. He has been up, and if you have people like Eugene Entry in the